What are the biggest nightmares of a programmer besides the darkness of light mode? Well, it's a pretty interesting question and I wanted to know the answer as well. So I turned my detective mode on, if that's what it's called, and searched every dark corner of the internet and got a little distracted. But finally, after a lot of digging, I uncovered the most terrifying nightmares programmers face, complete with real life examples so you can learn from them and take a lesson to never repeat them. Number 1. The history eraser. Picture this. You spend months working on a project. You gave it everything. Your time, your love, your care. Every single line of the code was fingered by your fingers. Okay, that's a pretty weird combination of words. But basically, you gave up months of sleep. Your blood vessels are filled with caffeine. The dark semicircles under your eyes are darker than my future. But despite all the hard shit, you finally finished the project. But plot twist. When you were committing the changes, you accidentally run git reset hard. Now, in short, this command permanently erases every change in the current working directory. Basically, you are fucked. Funny enough, your months of hard work vanished into the shadow of thin air. Now, okay, pause for a second. You might say no one is that much stupid not to have any backups of their projects. Or why would he even try to type this deadly combination of letters? But as I said, real life examples. In 2017, GitLab, the first cousin of GitHub, suffered a major data loss when an engineer accidentally deleted 300 gigabytes of data, including 500 projects and 700 user accounts during a maintenance task. Honestly, it's pretty disturbing to think you wake up one fateful morning and your repositories or your account doesn't exist anymore. And if that doesn't give chills down your spine, I don't know what will. But on the bright side, they were able to recover most of the data from their backups and replicas. But some data were lost, never to be recovered. So my condolences goes to those people. Wait, okay. Number 2, accidental push-ups. Now imagine this. It's late night and you're working on a brand new and very important feature, curving a button to exactly 20 pixels. And you finally finish it. And as I said, you're working late night, haven't slept for days, you accidentally push your code to production. And as it's late night push, your code is not tested because the people who test code are sleeping because they have a life and probably a wife as well. But anyways, your untested code is now live. People can't watch their late night videos, no login, no sign up, no download, no nothing. Then suddenly you get a call from an unknown number. You pick it up, you hear 2 words. Plot twist, it was your boss, who called using his wife's number because he knows you won't pick up his calls. Now, of course, you might say, no one is that much sleep deprived to deploy untested code in production. But real life examples. In 2012, Knight Capital, a financial service firm, you guessed it, did the same. And the incident happened after a technician forgot to copy a new retail liquidity program RLP code into one of the 8 smarts computer. I don't know what that means, but basically, in short, is a trading software was deployed but not tested, which made the system to make incorrect trades. Basically, the graph went like a roller coaster. By the way, this roller coaster cost them around $460 million in loss within 45 minutes. That nearly bankrupted them. So, always test your code before deploying it. Number 3, it worked, boss. So picture this, you added some really cool features on your site and this time you learned from your previous mistakes and tested your code before putting it in production. So there is no chance of errors, right? And it worked perfectly on your machine. You're happy, you chuck 2 gallons of apple juice, you deploy it into production, then you went to sleep. But in the meantime, something happened. Your app crashed. They can't watch their late night videos and they are furious. The reason? Your local Windows XP with a specific Node.js version with different dependencies is different from your production environment which runs Linux with different dependencies. Now, of course, as you might have guessed, how do you guys keep guessing it? Real life examples. This already happened in 2015 at a mid-sized e-commerce company. They rolled out a new checkout feature that worked perfectly on their local Windows machine. But in production, which ran on Linux, the feature failed. Why? A case-sensitive issue with a file path. Windows is case-insensitive, but Linux isn't. Because of this, the page returned error 500 and the company lost around $50,000 in sales over a 4-hour outrage. And the developers spent hours debugging, while the support team dealt with the angry customers. Hey, where's my la baguette de tradition française?
Sir?
For God's sake, I need answers, man.
Sir, first of all, I'm a woman, okay? And by the way, your order is on its way.
Listen, if I don't get my la baguette de tradition française classique, I have to eat baked bean infused donuts. Please help me. Hello? You motherfucker bomb. If you see this thing for the first time in your life, you might think, oh, it's just a few randomized ASCII emojis. Like, oh, look, I'm sad. Now my mouth is open. But actually, this is a bash command that keeps calling itself in the foreground and the background repeatedly and recursively, which makes the CPU a little dizzy. And in worst cases, the CPU might just... Now, you might have a question. Who with a healthy brain would like to destroy their own machine? Except for a kid from a high school in USA. Real life examples. In 2010, according to a post on Reddit and Stack Overflow, a high school student from USA just learned about the fog bomb from the internet as a light-hearted, fun prank. So, during a class, he accessed a Linux-based terminal in a computer lab and executed this command on multiple poor tiny little computers. Rest in peace. And he thought he would get away with just the simple, oh sorry guys, it was just a prank. But the school wasn't a big fan of his edgy humor and pranks. So he was banned from using the lab computers for rest of his term. Number 5. The digital nuke. Now, if you ever worked with Unix or Linux, seeing or hearing these letters together might put chills down your spine. Basically, this command deletes stuff recursively. And if you accidentally run this command with root privilege, it starts deleting from the root of your system. Your operating system, applications, user data, everything. And even without root privilege, it's still pretty dangerous. Real life examples. In 1999 at Pixar, during the production of Toy Story 2, an employee working on the film's animation files accidentally ran this command on a Linux workstation that was hosting the movie's assets. Since the command was run without root privilege, thank God, it didn't wipe out the entire system, but it began deleting critical animation files, which included a significant portion of the movie, about 90% of the film's asset, including character models and scenes were deleted. Can you imagine that? Our childhood hero, Woody Harrelson, was almost gone because of an accidentally run Linux command. But despite contrary beliefs, Pixar was able to recover most of the data. But still, some of the data was lost, not recovered. And they had to recreate the animations again. So my condolences goes to the people who had to recreate it again. So yeah, that's the nightmares for programmer according to me. I hope you learned something from this video. So tell me your biggest nightmares as a programmer in the comment section so I get more engagement. Bye.